I'm Deanna, your host. Welcome to Regaining Financial Control. It's a sad fact of life that bad things happen to good people. If job loss, divorce, illness, accident, or even overspending has left you unable to pay your bills, this podcast was created to help get you back on track. In it, we'll cover 3 major areas. First, we'll examine several things you can do yourself to improve your financial outlook. Next, we'll consider how to deal with your creditors. And finally, we'll explore outside services that may help you acquire vital money management solutions and skills. So let's get started. When people fall behind on their bills, they often feel scared and confused. They may lose sleep worrying, feel anxious, or be in denial. But this usually doesn't help. It just makes matters worse. If you're in this situation, take action instead. Begin by assessing where you stand financially. How much income do you have coming in each month? List and total up the amount you earn and can expect from other sources such as Social Security or child support. How much do you owe? Total up your monthly living expenses, such as for rent or mortgage, food, and transportation. On items like utilities that vary from month to month, average what you spend and add this amount to the total. Don't forget to include expenses that you regularly have but don't necessarily pay each month, such as for insurance premiums or family birthday gifts. Finally, list all of your debts, such as the amount you owe on credit cards and loans. Once that's done, subtract your total monthly living expenses from your total monthly income. This will show you how much more income you need to bring in to make ends meet and pay off your bills. With this figure in mind, look for ways to increase your income and cut costs. To boost your income, consider taking on another job or working overtime. If other members of the family are old enough to work, enlist their help in this effort as well. And if you generally receive a large tax refund each year, consider increasing your tax exemptions. This will provide you with a larger paycheck each month instead of a single lump sum at the end of the tax year. To find out if this approach makes sense, visit www.irs.gov to use the IRS withholding calculator or seek advice from a qualified accountant or your human resources representative at work. Also, research and apply for any government benefits, such as unemployment insurance or disability, that may help you weather this hard time. Finally, take a look at your current assets. If you're severely in debt and you have a retirement account, you may be able to tap into it to generate further income. However, doing so may also involve steep penalty fees and may leave you without enough to live on later. If your credit score is still good enough, you may be able to borrow on the value of your assets. For example, you may be able to qualify for a home equity line of credit or gain extra income by refinancing your home mortgage. Avoid taking on additional debt unless you know you'll be able to pay it back. Cutting expenses may offer a better way to get back on track. Subtle changes in spending habits and lifestyle can lead to major rewards. For example, if you regularly buy coffee at work each day, consider bringing a thermos of water from home to drink instead. This could save you up to $100 a month. If you currently pay for both a landline and a cell phone, ask yourself, do I really need both? Also, shop around for car insurance and walk, bike, or carpool to save on transportation costs. By carefully examining how you spend money and ways to cut back, you may come up with enough savings to cover what you owe. If not, you may need to consider further measures. And no matter what approach you use, it may take time to fully implement. During that time, there may be months when it's hard to meet all of your financial obligations. If this happens, don't give up. Inventory and prioritize your bills so that you have a concrete payment plan. Check when payments are due. Also, determine how much money each requires. If it's clear that you can't make all of your payments on time, cover bills like your mortgage or rent, utility payment, or health insurance that affect your basic needs first. Also, strive to pay bills that rack up heavy fees or interest, like credit cards or loans. If you know that you're going to be late or miss payments, contact your creditors immediately. Explain your situation and describe the steps you're taking to get back on track. This will help them see that you're serious about paying what you owe and try to negotiate a revised bill payment schedule. Once one's in place, keep a record of the terms to which you agreed and do your very best to meet the promises you made. If you're overdue for long or miss payments, you'll probably begin to receive calls or letters from bill collectors. This is one of the worst things about falling behind on your finances. No matter how guilty or angry you feel, put your time and effort into positive action. This will help reduce your fear and anxiety and make it possible to resolve your money problems sooner. Also, recognize you do have rights. The Federal Fair Debt Collection Practices Act specifies what bill collectors can and can't do. For example, they aren't allowed to call multiple times a day or to call before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. unless you've told them it's okay to do so. They can't call you at work if you tell them your employer disapproves or contact you if they know you're represented by an attorney. They can't tell your family, neighbors, and friends that you're in debt. However, they can ask them how to contact you. Finally, when they call or write, they're not allowed to make false threats or use insults, obscenities, or racial slurs. When you interact with bill collectors, try to remain calm and polite. If they cross the line, be aware the law does allow you to stop all contact or communication with them. To do this, you simply send the collection agency a cease and desist letter by certified mail. Once the agency receives the letter, it's only allowed to contact you one more time to let you know what it intends to do about your debt. Be aware, sending the letter may cause the company to take legal action against you, and it doesn't absolve you of the debt. But if you have continued problems with the debt collector, don't suffer in silence. Contact your state attorney general's office and lodge a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. If you have trouble resolving debt issues on your own, consider getting outside help. But before you do so, do your homework. Not all organizations that offer assistance with money problems are alike. For example, debt settlement is not the same as credit counseling. Do you know the difference? Debt settlement is sometimes called debt negotiation or arbitration. It's a process through which creditors agree to accept less than the full amount owed, yet consider the balance paid. Unscrupulous debt settlement companies often advertise that they can negotiate reductions of 50% or more on the debt you owe. While this scenario sounds tempting, it may not be true. If a debt is paid through settlement, it generally shows up as paid by settlement on your credit report. This may affect your ability to get loans or credit cards in the future. You may also owe taxes on the forgiven debt you didn't pay. In contrast, reputable nonprofit credit counseling organizations emphasize free financial education and advice. Their counselors are trained and certified, and they offer services through local offices, over the internet, or by phone. During a counseling session, a credit counselor helps you assess where you stand financially and set up a personal budget. The counselor provides ideas on how to reduce your living expenses and increase your income, and then helps you look at strategies for paying off your bills. If you need further help, you may be given the option to enroll in a debt management program, or DMP. As part of the DMP, the credit counseling agency works with you and your creditors to set up a realistic plan for paying off your debts. Once you're enrolled, you pay a specific amount to the agency each month, and it distributes this money to your unsecured creditors. You also may be asked to pay a setup or maintenance fee. If you decide to seek help from a credit counseling service, it still pays to do some research because they're not all the same. To learn if a credit counseling service is reputable, first ask, how long have you been in business? Are you a certified 501c3 nonprofit? Is there a cost for your services? Are your counselors certified? And are you affiliated with a national trade association such as the National Foundation for Credit Counseling? Also ask what debts are included in the DMP and if the counseling service is independently accredited. Finally, is the agency licensed and in compliance with your state's debt management regulations? If you've been more than 30 days delinquent on accounts, they may stay on your credit report for 7 years. The best way to improve your financial standing is to pay your bills on time and keep your credit card debt low. Don't splurge on things you don't really need. Also, avoid using a credit repair clinic. Many of these organizations make big promises and charge a hefty fee. If the negative information on your credit report is true, they cannot have it removed. And in most cases, you can perform the very same services yourself for free. Given your past history, it may be harder to open new credit accounts. To do so, you may need a cosigner. Also, consider applying for a secured credit card. This type of card requires you to make a deposit that can be forfeited if you default on your payments. With hard work and discipline, you can dig your way out of debt and become financially secure. As part of your strategy, strive to increase your savings. Putting even a small amount away each month adds up over time. Consider having a certain sum directly deposited from each paycheck into a personal savings account. This will help you keep from falling into serious debt again if new emergencies arise. And remember, there is hope. With patience, effort, and determination, you can become financially free. Thanks for listening, and good luck.